Hello, Internet. The thought occurred to me a little while ago that given that we're moving into medieval philosophy, it would behoove us all to have a better understanding of Christian theology. Because if you know anything about medieval philosophers, you'll know that they all tend to be Christian. They all tend to come from a Christian culture with Christian historical context and understanding. And if you really want to understand what these people are trying to articulate in their philosophies, if you want to understand their philosophies on a more deep and full level, you need to have at least a working knowledge of Christian theology, fundamental beliefs, and doctrines. That being said, I thought I might take the time to put up a few videos on the subject of Christian theology, because this is the point in history where the Christian mind first takes to the world stage and begins to interact with the Platonic mind. And the interactions are fascinating and subtle, and for us to really understand them fully, we need to understand what drives Christian thought. Now, of course, given the sensitive nature of the subject material that we're going to be tackling, I thought it prudent to put up a religious disclaimer to tell you that I'm going to be more or less neutral on this. I'm not trying to sway you one way or the other. I'm really only interested in going over the facts and helping you learn. And at the same time, I want to put in place a few rules that can keep my comment section from turning into a flame war. Granted, I don't have really enough subscribers and my channel's not large enough to really house a full flame war, but precautions have to be taken. So I came up with a rule. It's a very simple rule. If you would not be willing to say it in front of a professor in an academic setting, in a classroom full of your peers, then don't say it on my channel. I bring this up because it's an inevitable phenomenon in any video on YouTube that tries to discuss the subject of religion, that you have camps arise on one side of the issue or on the other. Typically you'll have theists and atheists butting heads, name-calling. We're not going to be having any of that in my videos. I don't want anyone from one side saying, "Hey you, over there, you're a stupid primitive for believing in God. Belief in God is stupid and primitive, and you're stupid and primitive." And I don't want to have people on the other side retorting, "Well, you're stupid and primitive for not believing in God, and here's why. Bible verse, Bible verse, Bible verse, Bible verse." You know, I don't want to have any of that. For one thing, the sola scriptura method does not work. It doesn't work in Christian theology or in philosophy. We're not interested in that. And we're also not interested in bland, prejudiced comments about other people's lack of intelligence for belief in a supernatural being that can neither be proven nor disproven, despite what some people may want to think. And of course it goes without saying that there will be no trolling.
Shut your mouth, you stupid little troll!
We are all here to act like adults and to learn. And so once again, I repeat for emphasis, if you would not say it in front of a professor, in an academic setting, in a classroom full of your peers, then don't say it on my YouTube channel. In fact, I think that the internet as a whole would benefit greatly if that rule was taken to heart in all forums everywhere. Not because I think that I'm so smart, but because if you're discussing something, then you really ought to hear what other people have to say about it, even if you disagree with them, and then you ought to be able to contribute what you believe, despite what other people think of what you think. And the two of you should be able to work together towards some kind of consensus or understanding. If the debate consists of nothing more than name-calling and prejudice and random radical statement over random radical statement, then we never get anywhere, and nobody wants that. It wouldn't fly in a classroom, it's not going to fly here, it probably won't fly on most forums. Now, of course, you'd think that this would all be common sense, but human nature tends to be such that these things are not so obvious and that they need to be pointed out. And I felt that I needed to point it out. So, yeah, if I see any comments that seem to be violating this simple rule, then I'm going to have to block it. And I'm sorry, but that's just the way it's got to be. So thank you all very much for listening to what little old me, a nobody on some backwater corner of the internet, had to say. And I hope to see you all again very soon. And of course, here's my obligatory YouTube statement of like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, this is the Idiot signing out. We'll see you later.